Good morning. This is my studio buddy, Lucy, and I'm Lisa from Stansbury Glass Studio. And today I'm going to kind of finish up with here she goes, a concept of using the tempered glass. So earlier I posted a video on how to break the tempered glass, and today I'm going to show you how to apply it and how to store it so you can easily use it. I literally had a box of tempered glass in my studio now for 3 years. So that video that I showed you is actually like 3 years old. But I constantly, I'm pulling that box out of the studio to use that tempered glass on various projects. And so today I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, so if you remember, I did the video for breaking the tempered glass, and I showed you in the video two methods of holding your glass together. One is taking shipping tape, and one is taking a weld bond wash, a glue wash, and pouring it over your entire piece of glass before you actually break it. Or you can tape it before you actually break it. In the video description, I claimed, and I still claim today, that the taping is the best option, especially for long-term storage. That piece of glass was quite large. It wasn't as large as a shower door, but it was pretty close to being that large. So I can't possibly use that much glass in one project. So it's literally carrying me through for many, many projects to come. So let me show you what I'm going to do with it now that it's broke. Okay, and I'll put the description, a link to that video in the description of this video. So in case you missed it, you can catch up with it. Okay, so here's a chunk, a nice large chunk of the glass that broke. Now, what you're seeing is this is the shipping tape on top of the glass, and this is the glass side. Okay, you see how it's holding really nicely together, all in one piece. Now, within the one piece, it is cracked in various veins of all this beautiful glass, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut out the chunks that I want, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to put this down. Let's see if I can get you guys in better. I can't, but so I'm on just a table, and I'm going to take an X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to, with the tape side up, I'm going to cut out a chunk of this glass so I can use it in a mosaic. And so basically I'm going to go to where you see where it's breaking within itself. That's a perfect place to start taking a chunk off. So I'm just going to take the X-Acto knife, and I'm going to run it down that vein that's already broken. And let's see, where is it taking me? Okay, and it's taking me over to this side here, and I'm just roughly cutting through that tape. And then if you gently pull it apart, I'm just learning on all this, just like you guys. So if you know of a better way to do this, please feel free to share your knowledge. That's what it's all about. That's what the beauty of being on the internet and Facebook groups. I mean, I think that the art itself has transformed by folds on just people sharing their knowledge and some of them. So here I've just cut out a nice chunk that I can actually use. And actually the way I'm going to use it is going to be in smaller forms. So here's my design. It's just a simple design that I've mosaiced on. So this is already glued in place. The frame is glued in. What you're seeing orange is just orange painter's tape to help me protect the frame when it comes to grouting and gluing and, you know, all that mess. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to fill in all these pieces here are all going to get filled in with tempered glass. And let me show you how I do that. So even though this is a big chunk, now I can cut it down to even smaller. You can cut it down as small as you want. So let me just cut off another chunk of this. And if the glass isn't broken behind it, it will soon be, okay? So just, you know, be careful with the X-Acto knife, but take charge of the glass. And, you know, you take you know, what you need. So here, as you can see, this is a nice chunk. This is tape side up that I'm cutting. And I'm going to be cutting, so I'm going to cut this guy here. I should probably do this a little more safer, but I don't want to get in trouble here. So now here's a nice little small piece that I can actually apply to this small. Now, if you have a bigger piece that you want to fill, I mean, you know, obviously the bigger the better because it'll save you time and energy in getting your piece done if you can keep them big. I don't generally do that. I find that this method is so therapeutic for me because I'm going to fill in with these size chunks and then I'm going to go back and in my box that I store, and I just basically store these big chunks of this tempered glass in a shoebox underneath my workbench. There's smaller pieces that have fallen away from the tape. And that's good because those little pieces are what I'm going to use to fill in the mosaic. And that's where the therapy comes in, I guess, because I could go on forever and ever and ever filling in the gaps, right? So what I'm going to use now is, I know this stuff here is impossible to get, but I've heard Corey Dollar makes a really good alternate type of glue that you can get. I haven't tried hers yet because I haven't ran out of this stuff yet. But when I do, I'm going to be hitting her up for more mosaic glue, for glass on glass glue. Okay, so I just basically I set it out on a little piece of plastic, and then I've got a wooden skewer. And let's see if I can. This is really hard. I don't really have the setup to show you guys different angles and stuff. So I just take the stick and I put it, now this is the glass side, this is the tape side, okay? It's really hard for you to see that, I know. I'm going to cover this glass side with glue. Okay, just a nice thin layer. It doesn't have to be super thick, but it does have to cover the entire piece because when we go to pull the tape away, if an individual piece within the cluster is not glued, it will fall off your mosaic. So it's really important that you cover all the glass. So I'm going to find a spot for this so you can see. I'm just going to, let's see. I'm going to plug it in right here. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of press it to get all the air bubbles out. And then I'm going to leave it. And before I leave it though, what I do is I'm going to mark it with an X with a black pen. That, because sometimes once you get this whole thing filled in and it's dry, you're going to peel that tape away. And I'll come back and I'll show you that process. But it's just easier to see the clusters and what you haven't, and the pieces that you haven't pulled the tape off already. If you mark it with a black X, it's in your face. It tells you that you need to come back to that piece and do something with it. Okay? And so we can just keep on going, looking for the tape side, because on this piece here, for some reason, it's hard to tell. Okay? Again, just a nice thin layer of glue on the glass side, not on the tape side. Okay? And let's see, where can I put this? I'm going to put it right next because it just seems to want to go right here. So I'm going to put that in like that. You want to kind of make sure that that tape in that previous piece is not tucked into that seam. And I'm going to press it down, and I'm going to wipe away any excess glue. Now, just wipe that away. Okay, and let's mark it. Here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill this in, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to pull the tape off. Okay. Okay, so we're ready. I got most of the big spaces filled. And let's see. Sorry. Trying to. Oh my gosh, I don't know. So what I'm going to do now is, this is why it's super important to mark these pieces with that black X, is so now I can go back and I'm going to just pull these back. Now you don't want to pull straight up. You want to pull straight back so you don't pull the glass off of the glass substrate. And then the tape comes off. And you want to give it a couple hours to dry. Now this tape on here is literally been sitting on this glass for 3 years. So it's going to be a little bit, I'm going to pay a little more attention to cleanup. A lot of this will come off when I grout it. The grout will just wipe it away. So we'll just do a couple more here. And then what this will do is, it'll open it up so I can see clearly. See, this is, you can tell this is old tape because it's really, that's not going to be a good one there. Usually it just comes off pretty easy, but literally 3 years might be. And I still have a whole bunch in there, so I guess I better get to using it. Okay, so now this opens up. Now that I've taken all that tape off, I can see these like small little holes, like right here and right here. I'm going to fill those with some of the little glass that's at the bottom of the box. And I'm going to just keep on filling them until I'm happy with it. And then we'll let it dry for few days, maybe a week, just to be on the safe side, and then we'll grout. And I think I'm going to make the grouting, I might just, I'll include the grouting on this, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. So either way, I'll either do another video on grouting, and then I'll show you the totally finished piece for this video. How about that? This is so, I just love this part of it because it's like, it's kind of like, when you're a kid and you got a sunburn and you were peeling the skin off. It's kind of the same, like, satisfying feeling you get when you do that. Anyways, yeah, I think I'll just cut this video right now, and then I'll come back, do another video with grouting, and then the finished piece. How about we do that? Okay, thank you for coming. I want to thank you all for subscribing to my channel. It's kind of amazing how many people are out there watching this. And thanks for coming back and checking in. Appreciate it. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.